Hi you guys, it's Kristen. Welcome back to my channel. So earlier I filmed for you my new bi-weekly makeup basket that will begin tomorrow, which is the 22nd of May. And I wanted to go ahead and film for you a recap for my last bi-weekly makeup basket, which was actually a collab with 7 ladies here on YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and list them down below. I am going to put them in the video for my new bi-weekly makeup basket as well, but I want to go ahead and list them here as well because I will be referring to the products that I picked from that basket and letting you know what I enjoyed in the last 2 weeks and how I used some of the things. So one of the things that I did do after I filmed that video and posted it is I went back through and picked out some things that I know that I absolutely love that came to my head like immediately, because the way I choose to do that makeup basket, it was supposed to be a love your stash and pick out all the products that you really love from your collection. But what I chose to do was take inspiration from everybody that was in the collab, and so I pulled products that they had pulled in their videos that I have in my own collection, and through that I found that I have a lot of products that I haven't used in a long time that I really do enjoy, that some of these ladies also enjoy. So that's how I chose to approach that, but I did neglect to really pick out things that I really love, and part of that is because I think I do my baskets a little bit differently than some people. When they look at their whole collection and think about what do I really love and they have it all laid out in front of them, I'm kind of just piecemeal picking things a lot of the time, and a lot of time it's things that I'm just thinking about in my collection. Unfortunately, sometimes those are a lot of the same things over and over again. So what I did after that video, like I said, was go back and think about the things that really stood out to me in my collection that I know that I love absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and show you those things first and let you know how I used them this last 2 weeks. So the first thing that I have here in front of me is my Wet n Wild Fergie highlighter in Hollywood Boulevard. Absolutely love this highlighter, totally obsessed with it, but I actually only used it once this last 2 weeks. I'm really trying to focus on another highlighter that I'm going to show you that I used a lot in this basket. That wasn't necessarily one that I showed in my original basket video 2 weeks ago, but I'm going to go ahead and show you that anyways, just because I really have been focusing on it these last 2 weeks. So I want to kind of show you the things that I'm really using in my baskets. So anyways, after that ramble, this I'm not going to swatch because everybody's seen this a million times, I presume, but that is the Wet n Wild Fergie highlighter in Hollywood Boulevard, which they're not making in the Fergie anymore, but they did just a little while ago release these in their regular line, which I was really excited about. The next two products are both Tarte blushes, and you'll notice a theme here in a minute, but this is Tarte Exposed, and this is Tarte's limited edition shade in the color Celebrated, and I know that everybody's kind of seen this one. It's a cult favorite, cult classic, but this is what I'm actually wearing today, and I think this is starting to develop a little bit of hard pan again, so I need to fix that. Apologize for the lighting. I wasn't going to film today, but then I figured I would go ahead and just get it filmed. So this is Tarte's Exposed, and I am wearing that on my cheeks today. It's the only thing I'm wearing. So, and this is Celebrated. This is more of a peachy kind of color, but it actually comes off like a really nice nude shade. So that's what that looks like there. The next thing that I pulled was my Tarte Bling It On palette, and this is a palette with a bunch of blushes in it, but I did pull it for only one blush. I did actually pan a small deluxe size of this doll face, but I pulled this palette for this color right here in Prim. And I'm sure you can probably see similarities in all three of these colors, and I love all three of them. Like I said, you'll see a theme here. This has more of a rosy kind of tone to it. I apologize for the lighting, like I said. So there's that. And the last blush that I pulled for favorites is my MAC Mineralized Blush in the color Alpine Bronze. This is another limited edition shade, but I absolutely love this color. This is a nice one blush look. I don't put anything else on with this usually. This is what that looks like. Super pretty. And also, last thing is on my lips. This is the Kat Von D Long Lasting Liquid Lipstick in the color Rakeem. And you've seen this in my videos before. Absolutely love this shade. Love this shade of lavender. Beautiful color. And I definitely wanted to pull it and wear it these last 2 weeks. And I did wear it a couple times. So I wanted to mention the 2 BB creams that I pulled for the last basket, both inspired by Cherish. And I'll be completely honest, I was not really impressed. I wore this when I went to the beach. I finished up my Silky Sheer face lotion that did not have any tint to it. This was an okay coverage, but I did get greasy afterwards because of the sunscreen factor in it. But I will continue using this when I'm going in sunny places or minimal makeup or things like that. Probably like to the beach and, you know, activities like that. Didn't hate it, but it wasn't spectacular to me. And this Pond's Luminous Finish, I don't find it as spectacular as everybody else does. For one. For 2, I have it in the color medium, so I must have got it when I was tan, and I've had it for some time. This product is discontinued, so I think the fact that it's not a good color match for me is really taking away from how I would enjoy the product. So what I plan to do is not waste this. I do want to mix it with some other things and just lighten it up a bit because I am wearing it today, but I did go ahead and go in with my Rimmel Match Perfection or my Rimmel 25-hour Comfort Serum something. So I am wearing that over top of this. That being said, I did use my Becca Ever Matte with the other foundation, the Dream Pure BB, that I thought would make me really oily, and I did find that this was a good match with that, so I wanted to mention that I did find that it worked well enough. But I did find myself going back to my Rimmel quite a bit, just because when I know I want a nice flawless look and no other weird variables, I just default to that lately. I left my Hourglass palette in that basket, and I did get a couple of really nice looks with this. I told you I used the whole palette, and that was just my face for the day. This was my contour, this was my bronzer, and then this was my highlight. Really nice. Enjoyed that. Used that a couple of times. But primarily I was using my Essence Beauty Beats. This is cracked, so I'm going to be very careful with this. But this is the highlighter that I was using. It's probably better for me to tilt it because of the lighting. But this is the highlighter that I've been using because I want to try and get this finished up. And I have a feeling that a lot more of this is going to probably... you probably won't be able to see. There's a nice sheen there, but I am wearing it today, and I've really been enjoying that. But what I also got a really nice look out of was my Naked Flushed, and as you may remember from my other video, I was really excited to pull the one in Streak, which was the peachy color, but I'll tell you, I really enjoyed this palette a lot more. I really did like this pinky red shade that kind of just gave me a really nice natural flush to the cheeks, and I really love this highlight right here. It is beautiful on the skin. And it is kind of dark, so if you don't watch out, you might end up, you know, having some darkness on your skin, but it is a gorgeous color, and I loved using this palette. For bronzer, I actually did not show this in the last video, but I pulled this Milani Baked Bronzer because I wanted to compare it to the, and I didn't bring it out, but the Park Avenue Princess from Tarte, and this is the bronzer in 08 Sunset, which was limited edition from Milani, but this on the cheeks is almost an exact dead-on dupe for the Park Avenue Princess. So if you have this and you want Park Avenue Princess, or you ran out of Park Avenue Princess and you love it, go ahead and use this if you have it. It works just as well. Super pretty. And as far as eyes go, we're down to eyes now. I loved my Chanel Illusion d'Ombre in the color New Moon. I just throw a generic crease color in the crease and use this all over my lid. I'm obsessed with this. I could probably wear this every single day if I didn't want to go for some other eye looks and try some other things. So loved this so much. Okay, sorry. So as I was saying, these three colors on the bottom, while they're wearable enough, I just found that I was loving some other things more than these three, which to me are just very generic kind of neutral shades. So I was finding that some of the other looks that I was getting with some of the other things were a little bit more appealing to me. So I didn't use this except for today, but I am going to use this palette more in the future because I am really inspired by all the color. If I can find a way to really wear this wearably at work, obviously a look like this is not really appropriate for work. So although I did see a patient for home health today with this look, but that's a little different than going into the hospital setting. So I did not and have not been working my cup, it's in the way, but I have not been faithful to my Pan That palette whatsoever, but I was really excited to find a look that I was really able to utilize this palette. So it is a look including this color right here in Honey Pot, which I have already hit pan on. But what I was able to do is find a look that I'm going to be able to continue to pan this a little bit more with. And so that look involves using this MAC pigment in the color English Gilt, and this came in a holiday set 2 years ago, I believe, and also a permanent color pigment in the color Rose. This also came in one of the kits, 2 different kits. This was like the pink kit, and like this was the gold kit. But I used these two because I saw a look on Instagram that actually used the color Old Gold and this color. So I thought maybe this would be close enough, but this is a little more bronzy. So when I put this on, I really wasn't quite happy with the look. So what I did was I went ahead and put this color in Honey Pot over top of that, and it came out really, really nicely. And then I used this color right here in Cocoa Puff, which I would really like to hit pan on, and I put that in the outer corner and blend it up into the crease. So I'm going to give you a little mini update on my Pan That palette. This is where I'm at. I really believe that I've only kind of expanded the color in Heaven just a little bit, and maybe my Nude Beach shadow here just a little bit. So that is where I'm at with that palette. I haven't really hit the goals that I made for myself, but I'm going to keep trying to work on this, as well as my Wet n Wild palette, which I only used one time and there is no progress. So when I have progress, I will go ahead and give you a full update on my Pan That palette. The next and last thing that I wanted to mention for my eyeshadows for the week is this Lorac Unzipped Gold palette. And I don't know if I actually mentioned this in my video, but this palette was inspired by Courtney K for me to pull out. So even though she wasn't part of the collab, I did take inspiration from her to pull this palette out. I had been wanting to use it again for quite some time. And so I went ahead and took this color in Unleashed, and it went all over my lid. And I also took the Cocoa Puff color from my Too Faced Natural Eyes palette, and that went in the outer V to to kind of darken it up. And I also use this color right here in Undeniable to also kind of deepen the crease part a little bit. And a couple of times I did use this color in Unlocked as my inner corner highlight. I did use Undressed as my brow bone highlight. So I did get some use out of this palette. I did this look a couple of times, as well as that look with the two MAC pigments. I did do that look a couple of times. So there was a lot of repeat in these last 2 weeks. I found some things that I got really hooked on, which I try not to do, but it helps me for the future to have some looks. I don't know if anybody has heard about or thought about panning a look, and that was something that I first saw with Amber F, where she had some palettes and some shadows that she was trying to pan, and she developed looks for those colors, and then she would pan that look. So she would focus on those shadows and constantly do that look and pan that look. So that's where I was kind of going with developing some eyeshadow looks that I really liked to try and pan. So last thing is this e.l.f. waterproof eyeliner pen. I really enjoyed this when I first started using it. It's a very short felt tip liner, but it really started to fade in intensity. I don't know if you could see that. It's still making a line, and I can still use it. I haven't really pulled it out completely to put in my empties, but it's probably like one of those things where it just keeps coming back to life. I'm going to go ahead and try this again a couple more times, but it's definitely not giving me the blackest line, and I definitely have to go over it a couple times. I don't find that when you go over it, it ends up being like one of those I don't find that when you go over it, it ends up being like where it takes itself off, but it's just a little bit more than I really want to work at for an eyeliner. So I went ahead and pulled a new eyeliner, which you saw in my video for my new bi-weekly makeup basket. Last but not least, I do have a couple of polishes to update you on, and I do not have any polishes that I want to get rid of this basket. I did pull a couple just to see how I felt about them, and I know I had mentioned that this Wet n Wild Fast Dry polish in the color Grey's Anatomy was one that I really wanted to hang on to, but I wasn't quite sure because I wasn't sure if it was even worth it. What I found is that this is a really sheer formula that if you put it on by itself, and I never did put it over top of any of the other polishes that I pulled for this basket, but what I found is that if you put this on one coat, it is very sheer, but it gives that duochrome, and it's very subtle. So for my new job working in the operating room, I'm not able to wear polish, and I am not directly working in the OR. We are interning, but we are helping out and doing some things. So I did get away with wearing this polish because it was very light and almost undetectable, but I would catch it in the light, and it was really, really pretty. So I really enjoyed this. I did build it up with 2 coats one time, and it's just as pretty. I bet if you put 3 coats, it would be that full on duochrome color that I'm sure you would be looking for from this polish. So I am going to keep this. I really did enjoy this. And the first polish that I wore was this e.l.f. polish in, there was no shade name to it, but I did wear this for the first week or so. I didn't wear it for the full week, but I really did enjoy this color. I would say the most wear I got was out of this Grey's Anatomy, just because it was so easy. And I did, like I said, get some wear out of this e.l.f. shadow. Really like that. It's darker than the color that I'm wearing right now, although it looks like it might be kind of dead on. But this is a little bit darker than this, but I really did enjoy it. And the color that's on my nails right now is this OPI nail lacquer in the color I Sao Paulo over there. And this was a recommendation from Nicole from Young, Wild, and Polished, and I really do enjoy this color that's on my nails now. I did just put this on yesterday, so they look really nice right now, and I will be able to wear this for at least the next couple of days because we are actually going to be in class. So I apologize if I missed anything. If there's anything you want to know about from my last basket, I did leave some things out just because they were, you know, I wore them once and they were kind of, you know, okay. Didn't really have any negatives about this basket, so that's a really good thing. And when you're pulling your favorites, I guess you really shouldn't have any negatives. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye. One more thing that I forgot to mention as far as eyeshadows go for this basket, I totally broke rank as far as what I pulled for this basket, and I guess I kind of did the same thing with that unzipped palette as well. I had watched a tutorial from Holly and Rina, I think is how you say her name. I will go ahead and put her here. She did a tutorial on a look that I absolutely fell in love with, and I was like, I totally have that color. I totally could pull off that look, and I didn't have the purple that she had in the look. I will actually link that tutorial down below as well, so if you have some similar shades to this or the exact shades, you can go ahead and copy this look. But I went ahead and did the Urban Decay color in Sideline, and this is the color that she actually used, and it's like a duochrome gold green, and this is actually one of the shadows that I did pull for the next basket, probably specifically because I do want to come up with this look again, and I also had a idea for another look I could do with this as well. I'll go ahead and give you a swatch of that. So that's what that looks like, and I'll go ahead and just maybe put it here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see the duochrome, let alone the color. It does look pretty light on my skin tone here, but this is the color. Okay, and so that, and I did not have the purple color that she used, but I thought maybe I had something similar in this Urban Decay Urban Spectrum eyeshadow palette. So I went ahead and pulled this out, and I used this color right here in Flashback, and I will give you a swatch of that color as well. And so this has kind of like a duochrome effect to it as well. And I blended this into the crease the same way she used the purple that she had in her video, and I really liked this look. So I wanted to try and get this look again, even though the theme for my next basket is singles. I probably will employ the use of this Urban Decay palette, or I might use my Stars and Rockets, which is a little bit lighter than this purple shade, or I did pull the Urban Decay single shadow in the color Tonic, which might also work really well for that look. So I just wanted to share that real quick. I totally forgot about that.